I'm sorry, Kathy, I should have told you before. I'm just going to register this for everyone who couldn't join.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Well, I'm retired. Why am I here? But because retirement to me is still thing I'm interested in, so I volunteer in Research4Life. When I was at NLM, I worked in PubMed and PMC teams, where I led the link out project and coordinated the PMC international project. With the new PubMed interface, there are a lot of interest in taking a look at it again. So I volunteered to do this webinar. By the way, this webinar has no official connection with PubMed or NLM. So just a disclaimer. I'll give you highlights of the PubMed new version, especially the features that are specific to Research4Life user. Today, our webinar will go on to, it's 1.5 hours, so not the normal 1 hour thing. So because there are a lot to cover, what listed here in the slide for your reference later, I'll talk for about 30-35 minutes, and then I'll do hands-on exercise to show you the new interface live. You can follow along in another browser, and towards the end, we'll take questions and do some search topics from the audience together. That means I'll take some search requests from you. Lenny Ryan, who's in the audience, will monitor the chat box and help with the Q&A session later. So thank you, Lenny. So to set the stage, what is PubMed? PubMed is a database and search platform of citation and abstract of biomedical and life sciences literature. It is produced by the National Center for Biotechnology Information at the U.S. National Library of Medicine. It has over 30 million citations, actually pushing 32 million now. I just searched this morning, with more than 1.2 million records added every year. The citation records oftentimes have links to the full text at both the PMC and also publisher sites. It is used by more than 2.5 unique users every day, and they are conducting over 2.5 searches per day too. On May 19 this year, the new PubMed became the default interface. So this is what we're concentrating today. PubMed as a searching platform was available freely on internet since 1997, just as the scholarly journals start going online. To user, what makes PubMed really special is its superb content, which is stemming from a long history of careful curation. In 1879, Library of the Surgeon General's Office in the US, now the National Library of Medicine, began publication of a monthly index to medical periodical literature of the world under the title Index Medicus. This content was published under different names throughout the years. Please see the publication history in the first reference listed in this slides right here. In 1971, citations from 1966 onwards were put online in mainframe and subsequently available on CD-ROM as MEDLINE online, or simply MEDLINE. Citation from 1946 to 1965 were added in MEDLINE in 1996. Older citations are added all the time because of different projects like content digitization. Currently, the oldest citation in PubMed is from 1781. The largest component of PubMed is MEDLINE, so the largest circle. It's a collection of citations from more than 5,200 peer-reviewed journals. Citations are indexed with the NLM medical subject headings, MASH, to facilitate retrieval of relevant content for your search topic. MEDLINE has been the database to go to for biomedical and life sciences research, study, practice, and basically for everyone, because we all have a health question. Besides MEDLINE, PubMed also contains citations from 2 NCBI literature databases PubMed Central, PMC, and books. MEDLINE make up of 89% of PubMed citation. Journals are selected to be indexed in MEDLINE by an NIH advisory committee of outside experts, Literature Selection Technical Review Committee, LSTRIC. The selection rate is about 12 to 15% of the journals apply, and they conduct 3 reviews per year. The process is well regarded and earned MEDLINE the reputation for quality for decades. MEDLINE accepts non-English journal. This might be of interest to you. In fact, 15% of PubMed citations are from non-English articles. This article have translated titles and English abstract where appropriate. The rest of PubMed comes from PMC and books. PMC, also known as PubMed Central, was established in 2000. It's a free full-text archive of biomedical and life sciences journals, whereas books is a database of selected free online books and documents. So both of the database are free full-text database. Their selection process for content to be included in both databases to make sure of the scientific merits and technical competency of the publications. From 2008 onwards, PMC became the repository of the public access policy of US NIH, Wellcome Trust in the UK, and a number of other funders you can see here. This policy requires their grantees to deposit a copy of their final peer-reviewed manuscript or their journal publications to PMC. Thus, the corresponding citation to PubMed, so that the content is freely available to the public. 0.1% of PubMed citation, about 30,000, are for author manuscript. There are no journal selection process for this group of citation. And a very recent development starting June 2020, there is a pilot project where PubMed includes citation from preprint servers like bioRxiv. The scope for this for citation, which is NIH funded and is about COVID-19. These citations have the article type preprint, and I'll show it to you, and I'll show you in the demo session. Book citation in PubMed is relatively small. It's about 0.08%, about 24,000. Then you can see the selection project for books in the links here. So please follow the links in this slide to learn more about the selection process and other concepts which I just talked about. As I said, PMC supports the public access policy for funders which have a larger scope than may have larger scope than the health sciences field. For example, the National Institute of Standards and Technology and the European Research Council. So this also expands the scope of PubMed to include citation other than the health sciences. For example, in this citation, from soil organism, from Europe PMC, which is a sister program of PMC. So normally this kind of, this journal would not be in the PubMed. But however, citation of some questionable journal may get into PubMed as author manuscript. So to tell the author's manuscript apart from the rest of the citation, you look for a specific banner, and the sidebar here in the PMC article, then you can tell that it is a author manuscript. So I click it prematurely, but you can see you can also check the NLM catalog about the indexing status and collection status of the journal of a PubMed citations. You click on the title and you go to NLM catalog and you pull up the NLM catalog and you can see the citation status of this particular journal of this citation and also the collection status. And actually, as a librarian, sometimes you might help your user to find a reputable journal to publish and go to NLM catalog to look for things which is in NLM collection will be a good tips to go, because NLM collection has a pretty good collection development policy. Coming back to PubMed, the rationale of making a new PubMed is to modernize it, to work well in the 21st century. It has mobile-friendly interface right now because more and more people rely on mobile phone. And this new PubMed have the same interface for both devices. And it also, the PubMed itself now, it is in the cloud, and which is very different from where before it was in the Bethesda campus only. So for the efficient, it will make it more efficient, have less downtime, more scalable, cost effective, and also enhance collaboration. Also, the software and database behind it is we're using more industry standards and also open source and commercial widely used commercial product. I would like you to all mute your phone. I'm sorry, mute your speaker, please. Yes. Going back. So, and then most importantly, it is utilizing agile development process and making continuous and responsive update depend on feedback. Here's a list of noteworthy items which you might be interested. And as I said before, it is the same interface, which is actually very relevant to you, to the people in developing country. And the simple search interface, I would say that really it worked pretty well, the algorithm behind it. It does a lot of work. So let PubMed do the work for you instead of you making up like Boolean searches yourself. And then for Research4Life user, we have the linking icon to access to full text supplied by Research4Life publisher. So this is something I will talk to you later. And also a lot of new feature. I'll try to run through this new feature in the demo session. So of course, it has all the stuff that people like in the legacy PubMed. This slide, I think a lot of people will be interested to know, is about access to full text from PubMed citation. PubMed is a database of citation and abstract, and a lot of people, after they do the search, logically, they want to access the full text. So link to the full text is a very important feature. And PubMed also distinguish between free full text and full text which require a subscription or some form of payment. So for all 30 million citation, about 71% have the link of full text here. I should show it between the green, which is free full text, about 25%, and then 46%, which is not free, and then 29%, which has no full text link, which is not a surprise because, as I told you, there's a very old citation there. So, so there's a lot of old full text without links at all. But for the last 10 years, from 2010 on, actually more like 10 and a half years, only 6% are without any full text link. And then about 41%, almost 42% are free full text. And then 52% or so, it require payment. So this is kind of reflecting the open access movement and public access movement in the recent 10 years. For Research4Life user, you are in luck because the Research4Life publisher provide additional full text for you, which other than for general user. So we just noticed that the general user can only access 25% for all PubMed citation, and which is free. But here in this angle, the in this slide telling you the Research4Life publisher give you additional 34% more. So here is about like 59% that you can get it for, have access to. And whereas for the last 10 years, the number is even better. It is jump up to pushing 80%, you see, from 37.5 plus 41. So do utilize your, if you are Research4Life eligible country, do utilize it. Go to your librarian, find out how to get access to have the login to go through your Research4Life to access PubMed. So access for Research4Life user, you have to go through the Research4Life login portal. And I'll show it to you in demo live. And here just some picture for you for reference. And you sign through the Hinari database for discovery, and then select PubMed. And then you go on to PubMed. And then you look at the URL up here, telling you that it's going through the proxy server of Research4Life, and then it invoke a parameter called My NCBI share. This is to set up, this is a search result screen, and what does it do was to set up the filter here, which normally if you don't have the filter up there, and it will be, have nothing here. But with going through Research4Life, My NCBI share parameter, you get the free full text filter and also the Hinari filter, which you can click when you do the search to limit your search result to be those items to access the full text. And also for every citation in the abstract view, you can see the Research4Life icon. You can click there, but since this icon is on every citation, sometimes there might not be access, but it's always good to try it if you have the login through Research4Life. For people, I know a lot of people like to do safe search to save their search strategy in PubMed. And the safe search now is called Search Alert, is actually managed in My NCBI. It's like a customer customization feature in PubMed or in the NCBI. So for those who use that, access to the Research4Life filter and Hinari icon, or Research4Life icon and Hinari filter, becomes a little bit complicated, because once you log into My NCBI to do your safe search, and the My NCBI function in your particular account will override what Research4Life or Hinari set up for you. So to make sure you still have access to Research4Life icon and filter, you should go to My NCBI filters function to set up Hinari. And what you do, you type in, you go to linkout category, you type in Hinari to search it and look for the filter and check it. And also, you should go to the PubMed preference session to select outside tour, select Hinari as your outside tour icon. By the way, the icon that in the abstract is called outside tour icon. I'll show it to you live as a first demo. So coming back to talk about searches in PubMed, this is the best practice for searching PubMed, which is a lot of librarians might not like it, because a lot of librarians like to do Boolean search. But here, because PubMed becomes so smart, and actually better to let it do the work for you. So basically, be specific in your search term. There is an implicit and in the search term. So you don't really need the Boolean operator if you just want to end those concepts. And no need to do punctuation, no need to capitalize, and no need to do the search tag. and avoid quotation mark, truncation, and if you're looking for a specific item, you let the sensor do for you. So I'm gonna, and I'll explain all this just a bit. One of the two frequently searched item is one of the most frequently searched that people do in PubMed, according to the logs, are actually looking for a specific item. Can you believe it? Not doing a research topic, but just look for an item. So in PubMed before, in the legacy PubMed, for those of you who used PubMed before, sometimes you will go to single citation matcher, but in the new PubMed, the citation matching, of what we call citation sensor, become very good. So what you do, you can just put in a little bit of like a little bit of terms on each aspect of the citation. For example, I know Dr. Fauci, which is the director of the NIAID, National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, the top infectious disease expert in the United States. We heard about his name every day because of the COVID. I heard that he has an article published in New England Journal of Medicine 2020 and about AIDS, but I'm not really sure. So what I do is I do the author name, last name, and type in the full name of the journal and the year. And voila, the citation matcher do it for me. So when it do it for me, it kind of listed out here is that two articles found by citation matching. This is what we call citation matching sensor. And then this article is what I want. It's a commentary for the AIDS. Another frequently searched is finding works or publication by one author. And PubMed has the author index and actually also the collaborated index, which is investigator index, we call it, all get together, and they will search under that. And it contains names. Last name in particular go back to the citation from 1946. And originally, it only had the first initial, and then later on, as time evolved, it had the other initial as well. So if you search for an author, do a last name, and a first initial will give you the most comprehensive one. And the full names of author only are start being added in 2002. So if you do that, will be very not quite comprehensive. For that, PubMed can help you. So I'll show you an example. Dr. Fauci, people all know him by Anthony Fauci. So I want to find out his work, okay? So I type in Anthony Fauci, and PubMed gave me, 2,000, about less than 300, which is not quite right, consider he has been in the field for like 40 years, and that's not quite right here. So what you can do, what PubMed can help is, what you can do is you find out one particular article and say, here, I do this article, looks like this his work, okay? So I go to the abstract of it and click open the affiliation field and confirm this is the author that I want by checking on his affiliation field. And then I click on his full name in the abstract. And this will change tell PubMed to do one thing called computed author sort. And actually it's more than just a sort. If you remember, I just type in the full name. I only have 297 article, but if I click on his name, and the searching became the most correct format in PubMed, which is Fauci AS, which I never know his middle initial. So you search on that, And the citation actually increased to thousands plus. And then it is sorted, and it's sorted by computer authors. So what it does is it sorted the result by matching the subject, doing a coupling of author and the subject term inside the citation. So push-up those have higher score. Those are more likely to be your author to be on top. So it will be listed out here saying that they're doing this function for you. And this is what PubMed has as a author disambiguation process, because a lot of author, if like John Smith, then you have a hard time to find the work by that particular author. So you could try this, and we can try some in the search section. So PubMed translate your search term. If you just type in some search term in the search box or in the all field in the advanced, they translate you automatically. And this process called automatic term mapping. And the advanced page, and I encourage you fully for every search you do, especially subject search, go to the advanced field, and here's the advanced field. And then on the top, you can do the search builder using Boolean. And then down here is a history and the search that you do, and then the details. And go to it to show the detail, and you will see how PubMed translate your term. So in this example, I do diabetes in children. I can see that actually the in is the start word, it got thrown away. So it know that is a two concept, diabetes in children, and expand diabetes to two kind of diabetes. You know, as you all know, there are like diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. And then also search against the match term and also against the all field as a keyword. So we'll see more in the demo. Just a few words about automatic term mapping, ATM, not your band machine, but it's automatic mapping. It basically gets your term, PubMed, get your search term, clean it up, throw out punctuation, normalize it to like lowercase actually, and then dice your terms into different concepts, and then throw those concepts into 3 translation tables, like throwing your term into a conveyor belt. And I love this because it's telling you once it be picked up by one translation table, it won't go on to the second one. So it's not like you search diabetes, because it first goes through the subject translation table, it won't go on to searching the journal table and the author's table. So this is a very important concept, is one after one. The subject translation table is the most richest, and it includes a lot of control vocabulary, and which make MEDLINE MEDLINE portion of PubMed is very rich, because they are all indexed by expert scientists about the content of the PubMed. So medical subject heading, MESH, is a control vocabulary thesaurus used in PubMed article, NLM catalog, and also catalog in a lot of medical library worldwide. It represents concepts in medical literature. It has a tree-like structure. So with the most borders term at the root, and then go on more specific term in branches. So that's why you heard the term mesh tree. So it is revised annually. So except for supplementary concept, here you can tell in MESH there are medical subject headings, subheading, which is like different qualifier of the heading, like therapy, diagnosis, and that sort of stuff. And supplementary concept. Supplementary concept usually is for substance, chemicals and stuff, but some reason like new thing will go into supplementary concept. For example, COVID. NLM mesh, the mesh is established in the fall and then go into PubMed before December. So at this point in the mesh, there is no heading for COVID, only the supplementary concept, but still in the part of will be indexed under that. So and it's the search on medical subject heading will go to the will explode by default. Explode means that it will include the term you put in and any subsequent term under the tree. So MeSH also have a lot of synonyms. So for example, I'll show you example in the next slide, and publication types and pharmacologic actions. And the subject translation table also have the singular and plural term work form and British and American spelling and drug names, brand name and generic names. And most importantly is the unified UMLS, Unified Medical Language System, which contain more than 100 additional vocabulary other than MeSH. For example, the CPT, the current procedure terminology. So it can get cross-map to map and make you make the term searchable. So here is an example of the MeSH term, the screen, and then you can see the URL here. You can go there yourself. And the MeSH term is actually myocardial infarction. And you can see the subheadings and different qualifiers here you have to narrow the search. And the entry term is the synonyms, and heart attack is right here and in the two different forms. And so you can search heart attack, then you can pick up an article on this correct form. And the supplementary content, this is the record on the COVID supplementary concept. And you can tell that the entry terms are all the synonym, and then it mapped to the current map tree. So in 2021, actually it was the MeSH 2021 is already out, but not in PubMed yet. And then and it'll go back to the MeSH heading. So the second stop is the journal's translation table. It mapped your entry term to the full text, the full journal title. For example, the New England Journal of Medicine, and the NLM title abbreviation, they do it this way. And then the ISSN with dashes, and all form of ISSN, linking ISSN, print ISSN, EISSN. This is for journal title or all PubMed citation, not just MEDLINE. So it's more than 10,000. I don't exactly know how many, but it's more than 10,000. You can go here and search and find out. Download the file and find them. And the third stop, by the way, be sure you know that once the term go on to one translation table, it won't go to the next. So if unfortunately you cannot map all those two citation translation table, you come here through the author translation table, which I touch on it a little bit. It has a last name, all initial, last name, all initial, and then the full names. So unfortunately, if you cannot find anything in the translation table, PubMed will map your search as just keyword search in the abstract and title and keyword field. And it won't search on full text because it is a citation database. Even the full text is from PMC. So that's what PubMed does for you. If you just put the term in the search bar, then how you will say, that's not what I want more control. So you can do it as well. You can turn it off. But when you turn it on, then PubMed won't help you, you help yourself, all right? But sometimes you need to. So you can turn it off by using a quotation mark around your term. By the way, PubMed doesn't really have an adjacency search per se. It has phrase index. It includes a lot of phrases that company use and company search, but not all phrases. So be careful. I'll show it to you in the search, in the demo. And then you can also search it along, if you're very familiar with the tag, the field name, then you can tag it, and you don't really need to put quotation mark here. Then we'll search it as it is on the title index here. TI is the title index. Or you can use the advanced search builder, which I showed you a little bit earlier. Then you'll search on that particular field, and you can use the index on that field to explore the term available. So before we go on to the live search, and I want to show you more on the PubMed homepage, and this is below on PubMed homepage below the search box. This group is all you need about PubMed, all the training material here. And this group is about the clinical queries, which people who do systematic research, systematic reviews will come here a lot. And then single citation method that a lot of people use before to find an item. But here, you can actually use citation method, a citation sensor inside PubMed. Download here, you can download the whole PubMed if you want to. And actually, the whole PubMed is freely available for a lot of vendor or a lot of people who do their own projects. So it's very nice things. And most importantly, you can explore the MASH database and journal database. And here, telling you that the legacy PubMed, if you're a big fan of it and you cannot let go, you can hang on to it for another few months at least. I think what you should do is really go back there to see what feature, after you explore the new PubMed, and see what feature that you love in the old PubMed, but it's not in the new PubMed. Then you can tell NLM about it using the feedback button. The feedback button are actually everywhere in all the pages in the new PubMed, and I encourage you to use this button. The reason why is that using this button, NLM the support team will know where you are when you're having a problem. Say, for example, I see a problem in this page, and then you click here. Instead of describe everything about where you are, then actually you don't have to, because they already know. They already know where you are. So, and then last but not the least, the excellent resources by NLM. And I have to say that I use a lot this particular slides and videos, and I use a lot of the concept within them. So I encourage you to take a look. And also this is a nice little one page for your user. And this user guide is also super. All right, so we will do some demo now. We'll have good time. We have about 45 minutes to do so. And you can follow along in another browser in PubMed if you want to, or if possible. And you can write question in the about what I demo in the chat box. And then we can suggest additional search topic towards the end. And after the webinar, you can send questions to communication Research4Life.org. So to, if you have any more questions, okay? All right, go on to demo. So do you see my, the Research4Life screen now?
Hello, Kathy.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Okay. I think you see my screen, right, on Research4Life, because I'm moving on to demo now.
Yes, we can see that, Kathy.
Okay, good, good, good. Yes, yes, yeah. Because I just searched, I went in there. Okay, so you access PubMed through Research4Life. Remember, it's very important to get you full text of the publisher. So you go from Research4Life's homepage, click login, and then you go to give you the login page, and then go on your login, using your login. And then you go on to, so you are logged in now, and go on to Hinari, the database for discovering PubMed. And just one more time, you can see the login here is login Research4Life, and actually it transformed this instead of PubMed.ncbi dot and this underscore is what that's what the proxy server does. And also with the My NCBI share parameter, which invoke the filter and icon for Research4Life for you, which is important. And here's the My NCBI here. I haven't logged in yet, all right? Because I want to show you how to do it. So I just do my favorite search, which I talk about. And you can see it set up the filter for you, which is Hinari filter, which is supplied by Hinari publisher, and also free full text, which is, it may also supply by the free Hinari publisher, but also they supply it to NCBI. So PubMed. So you can check either one of those is fine. So I'm just for demonstration purpose, I go to Hinari filter. And by the way, PubMed, if it's a free full text, it also show it here, whether it is free PMC or free article from publisher. So, oh, by the way, I want to make sure I have the best match set up, because best match is actually, I encourage you to use it more, because it has a very good algorithm to match, to guess what you want. So most relevant to your search. So it is a good feature to use. So here I'm going to this article, which is not free full text, but I have the Hinari icon. I mean Research4Life icon. I keep on saying Hinari icon because it was called Hinari icon. Anyway, so you see the full text from Elsevier and full text from Research4Life. So you click here and you go to this screen, which is the summon 360 link here. Then for Elsevier title, they like you to connect here first to enable access. Even though you log in through Research4Life, you still have to go through this. So I go through this, make sure, but I only have to do it one time. I just want to come back here. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to go back here. So, oh no, actually, it's correct. I want to go here. Then you can see the full text, all right? I want to cast off this one, and I want to cut off this one and go back here. So go back to search result here. And say, for example, I want to save my search, which is doing a search alert. By the way, here you go to advanced, we'll do a little bit later. You can create RSS, which is another thing when I want to save my search. When you do save search, you have to go handle through My NCBI. So you have to create a My NCBI account, but I'm not going to show you now, which is relatively easy. And you go on to My NCBI. So, all right. So you can see what changes. Look at the save search first. So here it automatically say, do you want to save search? You know, you can name it and use your search term. And would you like update of this new search result? How frequently you want it, which day, and everything. So then you can say, okay, I saved it. All right. And now I log in as myself. And then you can tell that the filter Hinari was not valid and was ignored. The reason why is that the filter set up by the Hinari portal, Research4Life portal, is override by my own setting. So as a Research4Life user, what I need to do is go to my NCBI to set it back up to have my filter back up, okay? And actually, yes, so I go to my NCBI, go to dashboard, and then you see my filter here is only have 3 full tabs and without, it's a standard filter. So I go to manage filter and then I go to link out. Hinari is a link out field, is a link out category. So I actually typed it before. So type it again and search it. And then I can set up the filter. By the way, the link icon here doesn't work anymore. It's only for the legacy PubMed. So here I have 2 filters now. And the next thing you would like to do is go to My NCBI again, go to NCBI site preference, and then you take a look at your PubMed preference. And the thing you want to know to set up the icon is this outside tool. I already set it up anyway, but I just still want to show you. So here is it's alphabetically. So you go to age, and it's down right here. Then you just click here, and then save. All right. So then it's fine. Then I just have to. I just have to go back again. Yeah. You see, here, even if trying to My NCBI set it up again for me, it doesn't matter. As long as I log in, whatever is set up by here will be ignored. So I'll still take a preference. So I go to advanced. Let's pick up my search again. Let's make sure it's okay. Yes, my filter is back. I come here, my icon is still there. So this part is just showing you how to set up. If you don't ever save search, it's easy. So you just go through the login and that's all set up for you. But if you use save search, and then you must create My NCBI account, and then that's a little bit complicated. So you should set up filter in your account and set up outside tool. So both things, you have to do 2 things. Once you set it up, it's fine. That means your inside My NCBI or outside My NCBI is the same. So that's the take-home message. Go to that, and then the next thing I will do is repeat the citation sensor a little bit so that you can drive home to you a little about this nice feature. And this is a term, the Fauci New England Journal of Medicine in 2020. And you can see it is, once this search, it's found by 3 articles. And this is my article, the 4-decade one. And you can see it is a comment in. So PubMed has the link between comment and commenting, so you can move between the article who commented it and also the article who do the comment. Similar article is in PubMed, which is a related article and is very useful for expand your search. And publication type is a historical article and the mesh term that you use. And from here, you can go to, you can search this term in PubMed mesh or add to the search. So it's a very neat feature. And it has a substance index is described in this particular article. And link out, it is the linking feature, which all the full text name, full text links, and also all the links, they like the MEDLINE information and some related information and genetic alliances. So all sorts of stuff. So worth to take a look. And then on the right sidebar is full text links, and your Research4Life link is here, the publisher links is here. So once you set it up, you should be able to click on the, if there's a Research4Life publisher, you should be able to click on that to go to the full text directly without going to the Research4Life icon, which is another click, but either way is fine. Here is something new. It is, you can type in here and you can get the citation for this, plug into your article or your reference manager and in whatever format you like. And then you can download in the NLN bit format, which is the MEDLINE format or PubMed format, which basically almost all management software is using, can take it. And you can mark it as favorite, and you can, this is also new, you can share it in Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, and do a permanent name link. And then here it's just repeating, repeating the navigation. So I'm going back to PubMed, do another search. And I'm going to show you the computed author sort, which by just typing in Dr. Fauci's full name. And by the way, just a few days and already he had 2 more articles, down to 99. So I kind of know that we talk about this all the time. So I kind of know this is his article. And you expand the affiliation. Yes, this is National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, National Institute of Health. This is my author. So I click on it and they'll invoke this. So they also, it display in computer sort, and then you don't have the result by year in the timeline. Mm-hmm. There's a timeline there. So this is a very neat feature to do. I'll move on strictly a little bit to do a subject search. And COVID-19 and gender, this is suggested by Lenny actually. And for subject search in particular, make sure you have the best match because I think it's a very neat feature. And if pull out this article again, you can kind of narrow down, go to the result right away. And I want to show you all these good stuff here, the filter it has. So you can filter it by, it has abstract free text, full free text here. And then there's article attributes, which is, does it have associated data, which is supplementary data in the article? And you can sort by article type, which is publication type, and by publication date, the 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, and this kind of stuff. So I want to show the additional filter, which article type, and you can see there's so many different publication type and systematic review. Those are already over in the default sidebar, it won't show here, but So you can, so I want to show you, I promise I show you preprint. So I want to add the preprint. And then different species, you know, language for those who are in country, English is not the primary language, then you might want to take a look at this. Steps are just simple. This is interesting. I want to show you because systematic review. This is systematic review as a subject rather than publication type, which has different result and actually have more results. So you might want to take a look for those who are doing systematic review. And this is the filter. It is created by a filter in the clinic. It will be the strategy behind it is in the clinical query page, which we will go to later. So the journal is a different journal subset. And here, if you want to just zero in the MEDLINE title, you can do so. And the age group as well. So I just want to show. So what I do is I make it a little bit more than your regular, the default one. So you can see right now I have subject, systematic review, and I have a systematic review publication type. I want to show you the difference quickly. So if I do this, I click here, and it's 8 article, all right? 8 right here. If I click it off, and I do this one, it's 20. So you can see the difference. So if you're really going systematic review, you probably want to use the subject. So you should go in and bring it up to your filter. By the way, once you bring up to the filter, PubMed remembers it. So next time you come, you still have it as a default. So for me, for this time, I just want to do the, oh, by the way, I want to show you the preprint. I don't think there's any preprint, but no, I'm wrong. My dear, it has it. It has a preprint. All right, good. I'm not gonna, okay, wait a minute. I just want to show you how does it look like, the citation look like. You can see it's medArchive. This is another archive of preprint article before it go on public final review, peer review. All right. So I just want to do the review article and pull up my favorite article. This one, Impact of Sex and Gender on COVID Outcome in Europe. And I want to show it a little bit up here. You can save it, you know, just you can save it as PubMed format is the NB format, like the tab format, PubMed ID, abstract, that kind of stuff. And then this save is saved right to your download folder, so it's easy. And you can email it. By the way, this I want to alert you. This feature will work if you sign into My NCBI, but it will not work if you just coming through the Hinari portal. So be very, very careful about it. So that's one thing. And you can also do send to. You can send to citation manager here. You can, if you do a citation manager, you can just pull out everything into create a file, all results. So it's really handy. You create a file, download, and then send to your citation manager about it. Just want to show. Okay. And in the search result, right now in the new PubMed, it gives you a little bit of the snippet of the abstract, so you read a little bit more. So you can kind of help you to decide which one to go to. So I want to come here. And here, if publication type other than journal article, which is the most common, everything a journal article, and review type and everything, letter, editorial will have a tag here, which is kind of nice. And then the journal last name, the journal title. So you click here, you can search in the same thing in PubMed, in NM Catalog. I just kind of show it to you a little bit. And then each author you can tell, and then you expand the filtration. And you click here, you can basically you search that author by using a computer author sort. So you expand it, and then you can see this person related to 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. So help you to distinguish. And actually, this is used a lot. And if it's a free article or free PMC article, it will show here, also show in we saw in the summary, and also with the food linkage and DOI. And because it's a PMC article, it has figures. All PMC articles figures is going to PubMed through the image database. Similar article, which is very useful. PMC article also has cite by. PubMed doesn't really have citation for the reference for all citation. Publisher doesn't deposit it. So only PMC article has a cite by. So we know by using the reference, we know which article cite what. So limited, but help you to expand your search. Say this one, because PMC, it has the list of reference right there. Publication type assigned by indexer, and mesh term assigned by indexer, substance, supplementary concept, grant support, which I talked about all the manuscript, and PMC and PubMed actually support a bunch of public access policy of a bunch of funder, but publisher right now, PubMed publisher, can send in the grant funder of any article they want to. These are not really curated, so the name form are not necessary under a certain authority, but still as a good one to see, you know, who does it fund to, and that sort of stuff. So you can search all article as well. PubMed abstract and result has a lot of links, so it's like very busy. So here you can tell that the full text links and also the MEDLINE Plus and also essay portal, so to expand your search a bit. And then again, this thing we talked about before, and also you can the same email send to, and a very excellent user guide here. So I talk about systematic review, and then, oh, one thing I forgot. We should go to very important. We should very important go on to advanced. Let's go to the review, limited, and then go to advanced system, interpret my term. So the box, the query box, and the details right here, and sorted by, oh, now it's sorted by most recent. Oh, because I lost it. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. So I want to show you this. You can see how the two concepts, COVID-19 and gender, are being translated. You can see that it's always search your term in all fields, but also map it to supplementary concept, which is mesh term. Remember, COVID is not really a the proper map heading yet, so it's a supplementary concept. So so do both things, so in a different variety of form. And then they also limit, this is the strategy that NLM COVID literature does. They search it in a lot more than just the term that you put in. And also limit the year, because coronavirus has a lot of article before 2019. So they limited, so this is more in scope. And gender also, they expand the mesh to mesh term and search in all field. And they also, yeah, add like sex as a gender as well. So what you could do, actually a lot of people do, is that they could say, for example, for how would I do it? say I do copy, and I could do it right here. And then I can massage it. Say, for example, for some reason, I want to get rid of all field. I just want to search on that for whatever reason. Let me see. There's a lot of all field. Oh man, that's all field. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. That's all I want. You know, you can search it. Isn't it cool? Oh, by the way, one little trick. I kind of, when I play with this advanced search, I kind of doesn't like it to go back to the result all the time. I understand why, because they want you to see what you get, and then you click here to come back. So one thing what you could do if you're really in this field, in this page, you could do click here, add to history. So what you do from now, say like, and we'll just add to history. Oops, search term is required. Oh. Yeah, it was just right here. Then I can play with it until I found out something that I want to take a look. So it is a neat feature, I think. Okay.
Kathy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this. I am just going to interrupt you because we have a question from a participant, and I am just going to, I think Lenny would like to summarize the question for you, and then I can unmute the person if needed. Lenny, is that okay?
Sure.
I think it would be better if he explains it.
Absolutely.
Because it will get lost in my trying to understand it.
So,
and it's really an interesting question too about the number of journals and PubMed, and let Mr. Mamoon proceed directly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Kathy, for your nice presentation. Sorry for the interruption. I have a question. That is, you mentioned in your slide that total citation from MEDLINE is 9% in PubMed, and PubMed from 11%. But I see, and I observed several times that total PubMed journal is more than 35,000. Could you just please explain how 9% and from MEDLINE? Just curious. Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's kind of, I couldn't really hear very well. You were saying that the PubMed journal. Could you explain it a little bit one more time?
Kathy, he could put it in chat if you want to read it. Okay, but it was over honestly, I couldn't figure. I didn't know the answer. Okay, but if he puts it, Mr. Mamoon puts it in chat, you can read it and then answer.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, I know it's about journal. Let me see how can I expand.
If you allow, I just share my screen just 1 minute.
I'm sorry.
If you allow, I just share my screen just for 1 minute.
Okay.
Also, we have another person who has raised her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for the moderator.
Okay, I also have, well, right now we have about like 20 to 15 minutes. I want to also show you the advance before we go on Q&A, because the advance is a lot of things people would like to do, and the phrase index, which we haven't talked about yet. How does it sound?
It's all okay for me, Kathy, just to say that if you want someone else to share their screen, you will have to stop sharing yours. But I think it makes sense if you go to the advanced first.
I'll go to advanced one more time quickly, and then
you want to finish that and then answer the question. Okay, is that all right, Mamoon?
Yes,
Then
I will
she
take
will,
only one minute.
Right, because
One minute.
otherwise
Okay.
we won't come back.
No
yeah,
problem. No problem. No
then
problem.
she'll share a screen, and
Thank
also Latifa has her hand up.
Right, okay. All right, so I will go to research, advanced, and I want to show you how do you do an affiliation search, which people who do the, if you want, there is no country field in PubMed citation. There is only country field in journal, but not for author. For author, there is affiliation field only. If you want to find out how is your country doing in terms of citation published in PubMed or index in PubMed, you could go to affiliation field and do a search. I just do Nepal and edit, search, and you can get this. This all pull out from Nepal in the affiliation field. That means is one of the author is from Nepal. So that is a really cool things to do. And especially if you know about, the landscape of publication in your country. So actually, I hate to, I can't go to my NCBI, I'm sure. My stage search, I actually have a stage search for binary country. And I can click. And actually, you can see this is what it is. I did a search. Well, AD, by the way, is the same as affiliation field. So, and then you can see, and then I can map it and follow it, and then see the progression. And you can do the same thing for your country. All right. So
Kathy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ms. Mamoon works at a very dynamic research institute in Bangladesh. So why don't you type in ICDDRB for affiliation? DDRB. Sometimes there's a comma in there.
Is it ICDDRB?
Yes. See what happens.
Sure. So we have 800 some.
Yeah.
Okay, it is very smart, you see. And you search, because my search ID retrieve no result. So it's going to be RB. So is it correct? RCDDRB?
RB. Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, you see,
that was just between us.
PubMed can like correct you. So pretty good. And what you do, you go in there.
Yes.
And then,
so this is a good example. Yeah. And you can see all the
you see Bangladesh right there.
That's it.
Yeah. So it's a very, so that's why I try to let PubMed do the work for you, because it's a very foolproof. Sometimes you make a mistake and then they correct you right there. And also I want to show you the phrase index. Phrase index, remember I said that PubMed doesn't do adjacency search. It has phrase index. So I want to show you the, do chase pen here. And the phrase index is in all field. So you want to do is you do show index. Show index basically get you a field, or you can confirm your phrase, whether it is in the phrase index or not. So this is here, but then you can see, well, actually chest pain 1 month, all sorts of stuff. So it will be a good one term. And then if it's in the phrase index, it usually has more. So you can come here and then add to it and do a search. Then you can see, and then actually you can also do phrase index. To come here and then go to like title field, which is want some title word, text word, and title word, title abstract. People probably like title abstract more. And then title abstract, actually it's the same thing. You don't have to do a quotation anymore. You can show index. So you see that it's different. It's 3.3 instead of 3.7. And you add to it, then you do a search. I don't want to do it now, so it's good, good. So author ID, by the way, ORCID is the author is a very gain a lot of ground, and then PubMed has the author identifier here. But unfortunately, the publisher might not deposit that. So PubMed does not go to ORCID to sync the content. PubMed rely on the publisher to supply the ORCID ID. So here, I just want to show you, if you have that and you go to author field and you end it, then you can search. I want to make sure I don't have it. By the way, the query box is just like the query box in the abstract here. Then you search, and then you can bring out, there's only one article by Nancy Shim. So just want to bring out the author field. And the last will be the stop word. PubMed has stop word, and I want to show you where it is, and which is actually is in health. Yeah, it's appendix in health. What it does is listed all the stop word that PubMed will throw away before processing your search. So that's also important to know. And then we will say, oh, what if my my author is in the stop word? And then one of the interesting example is actually there's an author is with the initial BY is a stop word, and the last name is just. So there's no you can see if I do just BY, this is the name, last name, and middle initial, and I add it. And I add to history. Oh, they're very smart. They know. Interesting. But anyway, the correct way to do will be go to this search, go into the field directly.
Kathy, I think we're down to about 6 minutes if you would like to let
all right, so
share your screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I open the floor now. So I will stop sharing, and we can play. All right.
Okay.
So I think we have a question from Latifa, who has the hand up. So I can proceed with that if that's fine.
And then we have to try to share Mamoon's screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, hi, this is Latifa from Lyon in France. So I have a question for you, Kathy, about Hinari. You showed us in the NCBI dashboard that we can add it as a filter. Do we have to, if we do that, do we still have to go through PubMed in the Hinari interface, or it will be sufficient? So we just set it as a filter and then just go to PubMed directly.
As a filter and icon, you can set it up the way you want to without going to Hinari. But the key part of going through Hinari portal is to set up your, basically it changed your IP, I guess, so that the publisher will know you. So if you, without logging in, yes, you can set up the filter and icon any way you want. You can still see the filter and icon, but you don't have the access. You know what I mean? A lot of them are either IP-based or password-based. So the whole thing about going through the Hinari portal is make sure that you can have access to the free text, which is to the full text, which is not free, but provided by the Hinari people, Hinari publisher.
Okay.
So the icon and filter is a PubMed function, is there all the time.
Okay. I have a second question, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is about the systematic review new functionality that I didn't know before.
Mm-hmm.
As a subject.
Mm-hmm.
Is that retrospective? Or
Oh, it's a
because
filter.
I used
It is retrospective for the publication type. For the publication type,
yeah, this is
article
what
type,
I was using before. Yeah, as
it's
publication
not.
type.
That one is not, because that one is indexed. Whereas the filter, it is. And if you want to, and I can tell you, I don't have to squint now. So go to PubMed home screen. You can follow along. PubMed home, down there, go down to find and clinical queries. And you go to clinical queries, and there's one thing called systematic review.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, the filter information, you click that. Then you can know exactly how does that filter.
Okay. So we can go both sides with the subject or by the other interface.
Right.
Okay.
So go to subject is like what you're doing clinical queries. But if you go article type, publication type. So that you have to distinguish.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Bye, Lenny.
Bye. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you. You too. Ciao, ciao.
All right, next.
Maybe we want to try to see if Mr. Mamoon would like to share his screen.
Yes, thank you. I'm just share my screen here. Just know about little bit about your one slide. You mentioned there 89% citation index from MEDLINE and 11% from PubMed. But when I check from the PubMed in the journal section, I saw in PubMed we have 33,350 journals, and MEDLINE is from only 5,270. Just to explain how come it's come 89%, 30 million citation covered.
Remember I said 89% of PubMed citation. I didn't say journal. You know the difference? 89% of citation. That means, okay, do a search for me.
Just
go
30
to
million. Just 30 millions. How come 89%? How it's covered? Just little bit more explain.
Okay.
From MEDLINE.
What you're doing is an NM catalog is the number of journal, and number of journal has, some journal have 1,000 record in one issue. The other one have two articles. Okay, so we in PubMed is a citation of articles, not journal. Actually, some of them are not indexed.
Oh, yes.
So when you do you can do a search in PubMed. You can limit your filter to MEDLINE. Remember on this filter, the side filter, there's a MEDLINE.
Yes, I clear. Not the journals. You mentioned the citations.
Right. So I'm talking about citation.
Citation.
And then what I do is I pull up the MEDLINE subset and as a nominator, and then use the complete number of citation as denominator. That's how I come up with the number.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. And I learned a lot, and I could not explain that to you, Mr. Mamoon. I'm so glad you could speak directly to her.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pleasure hearing your voice
want
too.
To share the screen or anything, I can stay on. I mean, people who have to leave, please feel free to leave.
I leave my screen.
Yeah. So